Linda Bay just said, what's a decent word count limit for blog posts? I know Yoast says it's around 300. And Craig Fifield actually mentioned something last time I had him on. He said, a word count isn't necessarily where you want to focus. He says you want to focus on making your posts as complete as possible, was his phrasing. And I think that was a good way to say it, because then you're less focused on making enough words, and you're more focused on making sure that this post is clearly complete with all the information that they might want to have or that you want to say about that particular topic or keyword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree, and I think as well, the approach I try to take to writing blog posts is I have two audiences that I'm trying to cater for in every blog post. One is Dr. Google, who I'm trying to keep happy, and then the other fellow humanoids who I hope, as they're reading my blog post, go, this is actually making sense. I'm understanding this. I'm learning a little bit, and I don't think Rob is a clown. Maybe I'll get in touch with him. So by being aware of those two audiences who you're writing for, I think as Craig referred to, you have a better chance of creating a complete blog post.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say when you're catering to the Dr. Google, a complete blog post would include, proper formatting, proper use of, H1, H2 tags, your alt tag, everything on site being pristine and clean and sharp and right. And then for the humanoid side of it, what you want is content that people will feel compelled to share, be it because they're entertained or because they actually learn something about it. And so when you kind of marry those two together, you get something that's going to be SEO friendly, but also has a chance of getting some legs online. And once it gets legs online, it feeds back into, it gives you a reward for having a good on-site SEO, because then you start to rank.
It's a difficult balance. It's so hard to be creative and write for robots. Because there's so many ways to use obscure words or just silly or whatever it might be to be unique. But then the more unique you are, sometimes the less optimized you are. And that's always a difficulty. I notice that, like, some people who are just bloggers and they just blog casually and they're like, I don't even worry about SEO. That's a big reason, is because they don't want to have to worry about modifying their posts and how it's structured and how it's laid out, just so Google understands it. Of course, I would recommend they do that anyway. But
again, I think if you're using WordPress, and this is the beauty of WordPress, again, I'd come back to what Craig Fifield said the last time he was on the show. It takes 90% of the SEO donkey work out of the equation. So by using WordPress as your CMS, you're making things a lot easier for yourself to have, to be able to cater to these two audiences.
Mm-hmm.
The XML sitemaps, they're all automatically updated if you use the Word or the Yoast plugin. All those little things are sorted. There's even plugins now that you can get so that your schema is automatically updated, so that you'll be feeding into semantic search and all that sort of good jazz, and obviously getting enhanced snippets in search results. So all these things can be done via WordPress. So I think
it's good. It's an awesome tool. I mean, we're gonna say it all night long. It does everything.
Pretty much. We are WordPress fanboys.